Welcome to West Wing Week.
Welcome to the West Wing Week, your guide to everything that's happening at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. This week, the president urged Congress to resolve harmful budget cuts and reduce the deficit in a way that helps grow the economy and strengthen the middle class. Held his first cabinet meeting of his second term, announced 3 new key cabinet nominations, and signed the Violence Against Women Act. That's March 1st to March 7th, or Jedi Mind-Meld.
Do a Jedi Mind-Meld with these folks and convince them to do what's right.
On Friday, the president answered questions from White House reporters about his plan to move the country forward in light of the harmful automatic budget cuts known as the sequester that threaten hundreds of thousands of jobs and cut vital services that are taking place because Republicans in Congress refuse to close tax loopholes that only benefit the wealthy and the well-connected.
This is not a win for anybody. This is a loss for the American people. I can offer compromise, I can negotiate, and I think I've done that and will continue to do that. But what I can't do is force Congress to do the right thing.
On Monday, the president announced his nominees to lead the Department of Energy, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the Office of Management and Budget.
I know that Jeff and Sylvia will do everything in their power to blunt the impact of these cuts on businesses and middle-class families, but eventually a lot of people are going to feel some pain. That's why we've got to keep on working to reduce our deficit in a balanced way, an approach that's supported by the majority of the American people, including a majority of Republicans. And I'm confident that we can get there if people of goodwill come together.
Later, the president convened the 17th meeting with his cabinet, but the first of his second term. At the meeting, they discussed how each agency would address the impact of the sequester and its impacts on American families. The meeting included some new faces, some old faces, and some old faces and new jobs.
Obviously, we're going to be spending some time talking about the potential impact of the sequester. It is an area of deep concern. I think everybody knows where I stand on this issue. We are going to manage it as best we can to try to minimize the impacts on American families, but it's not the right way for us to go about deficit reduction.
On Tuesday, the president spent some time with the staff of the Office of Management and Budget, reflecting on the importance of the work they're doing in light of the sequester.
The main reason I just wanted to come by is to say thank you. I know you guys are working tirelessly. I hope that even as you are hunkered down working through these numbers, that you always keep in mind the people, the faces, the lives, the families that are being impacted.
On Thursday, the president and vice president traveled to the Department of the Interior for the signing of the Violence Against Women Act, which continues to strengthen the criminal justice system's response to crimes against women, including domestic violence, sexual assault, and trafficking. They were joined by women's organizations, law enforcement officials, tribal leaders, advocates, and members of Congress who'd worked a long time to get this legislation passed.
We've made incredible progress since 1994, but we cannot let up. Not when domestic violence still kills 3 women a day. Reauthorizing the Violence Against Women Act is something I called for in my State of the Union address, and when I see how quick it got done, makes me feel optimistic.
To find out more information on any of these topics or to see complete videos of these events, go to whitehouse.gov. And thanks again for checking out your West Wing Week.
Most people agree I'm presenting a fair deal. The fact that they don't take it means that I should somehow, do a Jedi mind meld with these folks and convince them to do what's right.